Greetings, traveler, and welcome to the corner of the tavern. I'm Patrick.
I'm Keith.
I'm Mikey.
And today, we'll be talking about something that I did last year at time of speaking. I had a little...
What do you do?
Well, if you let me fucking finish, I tell you.
I know what you did last season.
Yeah. I had a little spark, a little creativity. But last year, around Halloween time, I threw a party. And I was planning originally to just do the same thing I do every year, which is just invite a bunch of friends to like either my house or someone else's house, and we play Betrayal at House on the Hill, which is one of my favorite board games of all time, and it's perfect for the Halloween season.
Very good game.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of laughs had.
Yeah, but at the time, the Crooked T Gaming Tavern was open, and so I was like, oh, what if we all like dress up and go to the Crooked T Tavern and play Betrayal at House on the Hill? And that was kind of where it started and ended, and I invited everybody under the premise that was what we were going to be doing. A week before the event, I was literally driving home from the gym, and I pulled in to my driveway, and I was struck. Like a stroke of genius, or just a regular stroke, or Jimmy Neutron's brain blast.
Or you're just drunk.
Or you were just drunk.
And on payments. Taking Quaaludes to the gym.
Yeah. Dude, have you guys heard about like people like taking Cialis and going to the gym?
No.
Why Cialis?
Because it gives like the juiciest pumps, bro.
That's crazy.
I doubt it.
Well, because it increases blood flow, so you know.
Oh,
Like
my
circulation,
God.
all that.
Yeah, so. But no, so yeah, I was on all that stuff. And then I was just hit with it. I was like, what if I made the party a murder mystery dinner and told nobody ahead of time?
It was quite the shocker. Let me lay the situation out for you.
Yeah, I think it's better from your perspective
As
first.
a party goer. So, it's the group of us, we're sitting down playing Betrayal, which is, again, always a fun time. We're enjoying it most of the party.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
But
Also,
So you started off playing Betrayal.
we
Yes.
did, yeah.
Okay.
So, because that's what we were invited as. It was,
Okay.
we're gonna come to the tavern. We're gonna play some like spooky games, and we were gonna wear it was originally gonna be Victorian, but that was gonna be too expensive, so we went 1950s noir. Was the dress setting, and we're like, all right, cool, that sounds neat. Like we all dress like detectives, and we play some Halloween-esque themed games like Betrayal or Clue or something like that. So we're all winding up, we're going and having a good time for the most part. And then,
do you want to touch on that first before we get into the murder mystery dinner?
well, I mean, I guess it was just like. Your brother's date at the time was just not having a good time.
Yeah.
She was making sure,
She was completely miserable the entire time?
No, well, I mean, kind of, but she was making sure that it was a problem the entire time.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we were playing Betrayal, and real quick, just to clarify, the reason Mikey wasn't there is because he was invited, but you had a medical emergency last minute.
Yeah, I had something horrible happen.
Mm-hmm.
I am okay now.
Yes, thankfully.
Should you care?
I don't. You missed my part.
Congratulations! Congratulations!
Congratulations.
I survived.
But so, and that actually, you not coming last minute actually did. I'll talk about my side of things, is why that's important in a sec. But yeah, so when we were all just playing Betrayal, Betrayal has like a lot of moving parts and a lot of I'm not gonna say it's a complicated game, but there are a lot of rules that you do got to keep in mind and shit. And she just was so unwilling to learn the fucking system.
Yeah.
Or even...
So everybody else had to play the game for her because she was just not participating.
And she was getting, angry and upset, and, which was getting my brother angry and upset. And he was holding it together, but he was getting... And I don't blame him. I would be in his shoes.
Listen, babe. You gotta move the pieces on the board.
Read the card. That's all
You gotta read the card.
Regardless, we were all generally having a good time. And Patrick stands up at one point and there was a point where you had ordered like a drink or something. Like the guy came over, like ordered something, and then he like walked away. But it was kind of like background noise because the servers come and order at your table, and then you got up and you were making some grand announcement. It looked like my first impression was that you were gonna announce like you were getting married, which is like how grandiose of an announcement you were making this. You're like, my friends and loved ones, I'm glad you've all come here today because I have a very big announcement. And then it like cuts off and all the lights in the place shut out. And then when the lights come back on, you're just laying on the floor dead with a knife in your chest. Mm-hmm. And then it's like impromptu, you solved the murder now. Like to the people sitting at the table, like we all just like, okay, well I guess we got to figure it out. And then we weren't sure at first if one of us was supposed to be the killer, but obviously none of us knew that this was happening, so we didn't know. But I will spoil, I did end up cracking the case. I was a very Sherlock Holmes, Cole Phelps individual that evening.
I do want to ask, like, how big was that, like, kind of initial shock when the lights came back on? Like, how...
I mean, I was shocked. I was not expecting it at all. Like I said, completely. Like I was completely caught off guard, like blindsided.
Did you have a light switch, or did they?
No,
you cued them.
Yeah, he cued them.
Oh,
like, he worked it out with the tavern. That it was like a full thing. That was cool. Yeah,
yeah. I gave them a phrase when I specifically say good news. I want you to turn off the lights and then wait 10 seconds and turn them back on. That's how I worked it out with them ahead of time.
Yeah, so I like LA Noir like searched your body for clues, so like turn him over, like check his inside the lapels and stuff. Mm-hmm. And should I go in through the whole process?
Tell me the whole thing from your perspective.
Okay, well, whole thing from my perspective. So again,
he's dead.
Yeah, he's dead. Complete blindside because, like I said, we all we knew it was just a 50s themed board game night, so none of us were nobody was expecting this, especially for I
expected board games and you bring me death.
To be like worked into the establishment and stuff as well, which played into part of my deductions. I should have worn my glasses so I could have done the whole thing. As you see, but search. Take all the evidence and stuff, and from looking it over, none of it really implicated any of us. There were some red herrings in there that I had kind of spotted out real quick, but for the majority of it, I was more piecing together if there was enough here to say one of us was the killer, and outside of a couple red herrings that I put a thumbtack on, I couldn't see it. But that got me thinking, well, he worked this in with the establishment itself, and part of the evidence, which I believe I actually still have, I think I kept those, did implicate the tavern to a degree, because you're in the note you were talking about, you were gonna buy them out and it was going through at midnight or something, and also very comedically written. It was it was one of them was like a note going from him to his lawyer that was written like a complete douchebag in character, and then there was one back from the lawyer to him about how he fucking hates Patrick.
The worst client I've ever had.
Yeah, actually, and also he didn't really, he never remembers his name, and the thing's gonna be finalized at midnight. So.
Yeah, because I remember my letter to the lawyer opens with "Dear lawyer, whose name I totally remember, but I'm just choosing not to say right now," and then his letter to me opened with "Dear asshole client who can never bother to remember my name."
Yeah. So yeah, again, very comedically written, but it was implicating the tavern to an extent, and this is where it kind of became a little tricky, because spoilers, the tavern itself was in fact implicated. They were in on it, but the thing is, the guys working it, although super cool in letting all of this happen and playing along the best they could, they didn't know what the fuck they were doing either. So there were points where I had clearly caught them, and I was laying out all the evidence on them, and the guy's just
yeah.
I mean, is it
question mark?
It looks right to me, He didn't know, but so I think eventually you did end up having to get up and be like, yeah, no, you got it, kind of thing. But like I went over and was like questioning the guy at the counter who was the owner of the establishment, and he was kind of like giving me certain details, but was being very dicey about it. Again, this is like a year ago, so I can't remember the finer stuff at the moment. But he was giving me like real dicey details, and like I could tell he was like shoving me off a little bit, but in like a very conspicuous kind of way, not like you're just some asshole who's bothering me. Like, why are you guys doing this in my tavern right now?
Yeah, like, hey, I'm working, bro. Would you mind?
Yeah, like it was very clearly like, oh, I know something, but I'm not going to tell you kind of idea. So I'm like, all right. So I asked him if I could interview his employee. Which the employee I don't think was directly involved at all, but he played along, which was kind of funny, and he might have been slightly involved because I pinned him with something, and I think he actually did admit to it. But I like walked over to him, and he was like running the bar, like he was the bartender for the night, and I was asking him about like, oh, you know, people getting certain drinks, or like kind of playing into some of the evidence, like trying to piece it out and see where he was feeling. And then I had asked him like, that's what it was. I had seen him like zipping around a lot, and I'm like, and I'm pretty sure I saw you go outside for a smoke or a vape. I'm like, you know, I tend to hear like vapors at work tend to go off in like little corners and stuff, and maybe hit that so that way they can just keep working. Do you tend to do that? And the guy, the guy actually looked at me like, oh shit, he actually did catch me on something, because I think that's something he actually does. And he's like, I mean, maybe sometimes. And I'm like, is over by the light switch one of those places you might want to, you know, like step off kind of thing? And like he started getting like actually really nervous and like pushed me back on. So after like circling around with like the evidence a little more, and like further questioning and stuff, I did finally piece together that because like it was part of it was like asking about the fax machine. I checked to see if the guy had a fax machine. He did, and I finally pieced it where it was like the sale was going through at midnight. So before midnight, he the owner of the establishment killed Patrick, so that way it couldn't go through.
Okay.
That was essentially the big play on it.
Yeah.
And like I said, I did piece that out. But like I said, the owner, although he kind of knew, was just more playing along and didn't really know where it was supposed to end. So he kept trying to like tail me on. Like I caught him on everything, and I'm like laying it out to him.
You know what they say? The crooked T has a crooked owner.
And there was like a point like after I laid it all out to him, and he's doing the whole like, seems right to me. It's not my wallet, like the kind of thing. Like I kind of had to break down like great character. I'm like, all right, so did you do it or did you not? Like, did I get this here? And that's when you got up and you're like, yeah, no, you got it.
Yeah, you had to come in and referee, like flag him.
Yeah, because the entire time you were just laying on the floor dead. Well, like dead. Like as that
So
we were
you're like this.
Oh no, he was just like Spalding like on his back
sprawled
like
out.
this.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
So
so like
yelling from across the establishment.
yeah.
Well, so I that pretty much, yeah, I think I can talk about it from my perspective now.
So yeah, my girlfriend was like she kind of got lost after the first couple of clues, and then just decided to spend the rest of the time trying to make you break character.
Yeah.
As a dead man, so she's like clacking your shoes and shit.
Yeah, she was like taking off my shoes and like positioning my body in funny ways, and like just like slapping my face and shit. I was like, but yeah, your girlfriend was like the last person who I expected that behavior from.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so what had happened was, okay, so like I said, I pulled into my driveway and I was like, what if I make this a murder mystery dinner? And I immediately was just running through all in my head. I was like, how can I make this possible? What can I do to make this come to fruition?
I mean, it worked pretty well from my perspective. For something very impromptu, it was very engaging, and really got to let me exercise just some like detective skills. That was a really fun time.
Mm-hmm.
It's a shame like everybody else just kind of was stumped with the clues. I wanted to like work with somebody like a Sherlock Holmes kind of thing, but I was kind of like on my own crack in this. Like nobody else knew where it was going.
No, because so I I forget exactly how I got to this, but like again, I racked my brain with it, and I was just like thinking like, how can I make this possible? And then that's when I thought of like, what if, I'm attempting to buy out the Crooked T Gaming Tavern from the owner in like a hostile takeover, and he murders me to prevent it from happening.
Mm-hmm.
So before I get too deep, I drive to the place the next day, and I ask the owner if he's in, and I speak with him, and I say, hey, so a couple of questions. I said, I'm thinking about like doing a murder mystery dinner here. Would that be okay? And he didn't even hesitate. He was like, that sounds fun. Yeah.
That place was so cool.
Yeah. And I was like, second question, would you be the murderer? And he was like, yeah.
I'll
He
kill
was-
you.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, he was all on board with the idea. And I was like, okay, this works out perfectly. Because the owner had the same first name as my brother.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh,
I remember that being one of the like red herring clues. Yeah.
Mhm.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, so I could like fit that in to like make that you know what I mean, like part of the red herring, like towards my brother.
Oh, that was another thing that I caught when I first interacted with the owner was because like I walked up and I like was like real nonchalant about it, and I was like, hi. I'm, you say my full name. I'm not going to dox myself, but hi. I'm gonna put my hand out, and I noticed how he responded. He said, "Oh, hi. I own this establishment." He didn't say his name.
Yeah.
So I was like that was one of the things I was trying to like wheedle out of him, and I did eventually get that his name was Ben.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I got that from him. Like, I got the green light, I got the okay. He agreed to do it. I told him the date. Everything was smooth, and I was like, okay, now to put everything into place. So what I came up with, I was like, 4 key pieces of evidence will be hidden on my body: 2 letters, a knife, and a handkerchief. And the handkerchief was going to have, and this is where you kind of come in, it was going to have one of your names on it.
Okay.
Yeah, so it ended up having my initials.
Because one of you guys was going to be the fall guy in his murder.
Okay.
Was the plan. So his plan, okay, I hostily bought, like, the overarching story is I hostily took over the Crooked T Tavern, and the deed is going to be faxed to me at midnight.
Yeah.
He was originally going to kill me in my home and steal the deed and leave behind a piece of evidence implicating who wound up being Keelan for the murder. That was his plan. What he didn't expect was that I would announce my buyout in the restaurant in front of everybody. So he panicked and he had to think fast. And so he hit the lights before I had time to say anything. And he stabbed me in the dark with his own personal knife, which had his name written on it, which coincidentally was my brother's name, and left it in me, and like in a haste threw the handkerchief on me to implicate Keelan. But what he didn't know is I already had the letters in my person. One was just a red herring. It was. I mean, it kind of implicated the buyout, but like, the one letter was marked family, and it was the letter to my lawyer, and it said like, dear lawyer whose name I know, but I'm just choosing not to say.
Yeah, it was like, don't give my family any money or something like that.
It said something to the effect of like, I want to write my brother out of the family estate as I am making big baller shot caller money moves and can't have him spending our entire fortune of $126. And then there was some other stuff in there I don't remember exactly. Oh yeah, also I said like, also he's lame and he sucks and I hate him. God, he would kill me if he ever found this out. Anyway, I think I literally added TTYL Patrick.
TTYL.
Yeah. And then the other letter was from my lawyer, and again, it said like, dear asshole client who can never bother to remember my name, I'm just confirming that your hostile takeover of the Crooked T Tavern has went through. The deed will be faxed to you by midnight tonight, and we'll never have to work together again. And so...
And there was the key piece of evidence.
Yeah, and so these were the 4 pieces of evidence that were on my body, and I had them like tucked away in like my pockets and shit.
Okay.
And something that I liked that everybody agreed, like I just heard them talking while I was down on the floor, because when they took out the letter that was in my in this pocket, which is where I got
like
stabbed
through with blood.
Yeah, they were like, "Oh, that's actually really cool," and I was like, "Oh, I'm glad they appreciated that detail."
Yeah, that was really neat.
Which another thing I want to say, I was hot as fuck that whole night because I had all the evidence in my jacket, which I couldn't take off because then you might see it. So
So you had to sit through the whole night with that jacket.
yeah.
Oh,
So before we get to the actual murder itself, the lead up. So literally day of, I get there and I meet with the owner like an hour ahead of time, and he doesn't even know what the story is yet. So I have to run through. So when you were like saying like, oh, he was like cagey or whatever, that's because he was literally given like last minute notice on the whole story.
That's why I said I know after the fact. I mean, I could kind of tell at the time because, like I said, I had caught him, but he didn't know where it was like going. Really,
That's still amazing that he was willing to improv that whole night.
Yes.
Yeah, no, they improv the hell out of it too. It was very fun.
Yeah, so he told me that he told his whole staff and got them all in on it. So the staff basically acted as actors the whole night. And so I came up and like I said, like with maybe an hour or so of like ahead of time, I gave him the whole story. And he was like, okay. And I saw him like trying to memorize it to the best of his ability, which like granted, phenomenal job, right? And so I told him what everything was, and then I waited, and then everybody showed up. As we walk in to the front desk, okay, the woman sees that we're all like dressed up and shit. Like, what's it called? The person who seats you at your table?
Oh, the host.
The host, yeah.
Or hostess in this case.
Yeah, the hostess. And she was like, thank God. Everyone was distracted talking to one another.
Yeah, we didn't notice as we walked in because apparently she slipped up.
Yeah, because we walked up and she goes, oh, you're the people here for the murder mystery. And I went, and she went, oh, I'm so sorry. And I went, and she was like, let me see you to your table.
Man.
Yeah, no, we were all chatting when we walked in, so yeah, we completely missed it.
Dodged the bullet.
Yeah, no.
If I was a better detective, I would have caught it early.
So we all sat down and we started playing the game. And the plan for the evening was we finish our first game, and then and then the murder mystery takes place. And then maybe we have one more game or we play a different game or whatever, right?
Yeah, that first game ended up taking a while.
It took like 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
It was one of the games of betrayal that like dragged on, and it was only getting worse and worse as like my brother's arguing with his date, like, because she's just being awful. Which, by the way, I will say, I do appreciate what she did. Do you remember what she came dressed as?
Oh, hold on, don't tell me. I'm trying to remember.
She went like counterculture to the party theme, which I
Really?
actually thought was kind of fun. Because like the theme was 1950s noir detective.
Yeah.
What was it again?
She came as cyberpunk.
That's right. Yeah.
Really?
I was trying to remember because I remembered like her being in like a suit, like a skin suit kind of thing.
Yeah, she came as a futuristic cyberpunk character.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I actually thought that was pretty cool. I like to go, like I said, to go 180 on the costume theming.
That is crazy.
Not as much to go 180 on participating in the
This
game,
fucking board
but-
game
Yeah.
arguably made the event last way too long.
Yeah, I'm giving compliments where they're due. She was a headache for everything else, but like that I thought was cool. So we all show up and we start playing the board game, and yeah, it's dragging. And like by the way, when I say 2.5 hours, the haunt hasn't even started
That
yet.
was right. Yeah, it was a long one.
Because for those of you who don't know, Betrayal at House on the Hill comes in two phases: the exploration phase and the haunt phase.
Truly, the Dark Souls boss of board game.
And so the haunt hadn't even started yet, and we're like 2 hours into this game, just still exploring, and like tensions are raising between my brother and his date, and by the way, also the owner, which I thought was really cool, to introduce himself as like a character coming up in this murder mystery, like became our waiter for the evening.
He did, yeah.
He came by several times to like take orders, get drinks, all that sort of stuff. So I like that he did that because again,
yeah, like he made sure that like we saw him, like he was kind of engaging. Like I mean, obviously, as much as like somebody who's normally a waiter would, again, he was the owner of the establishment, but he would like act the part and make sure that we all knew and saw him and he saw us, so that we kind of ingrained in the back of your mind, like this guy's floating around.
Yeah, like the murderer isn't someone we've never met before.
Yeah, that's just it. Yeah. So it was like. For them having such little to go off of, they were really good with their improv.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, it was just a really fun time all around.
No, and that is another reason why he introduced himself as the owner, because he wasn't just like, oh, I'm here to take your owner. He was like, hi, I'm the owner, and I like to, pleasure to meet everybody here. Again, ingraining himself as a character. And so, but again, 2 hours in, tensions are rising. I'm like,
the owner's been forgotten.
The owner's been forgotten. I'm like, I'm gonna go get a drink at the bar. So I go up to the bar and I do order a drink while I'm up there, and I'm like, hey, so I'm thinking maybe we start now. And they're like, are you sure? We were thinking maybe you finish up your game. I said, yeah, I was thinking that too, but tensions are kind of rising, so maybe we just cut to it. And they're like, okay, here's what we're gonna do. Just so that for you to be sure, we're gonna make your drink and call you back up. When you call us back up, you'll give us the final word on it. And I said, okay. So I went back to the table. Status did not change. Got called back up for my drink. I grabbed it. I said, yeah, we're doing this.
Yeah. Let's get the ball rolling here.
Yeah. So I gave him the code word. I said when I say good news, that's when you flick the lights off. And they're like, okay. So I come back to the table and I stand up and I'm like, oh, my friends, my closest compatriots, I am so glad that you could all join me here today, because you are just the people nearest and dearest to my heart, and I have some upcoming good news I would love to share. And I started to reach into my jacket pocket to signal.
Which all of that, and then like again, this we were not expecting. So sitting at the table, he stands up, starts doing that shit, and then reaches into his jacket. Like I said, I thought he was gonna like say he was gonna. Well, no, they didn't. Saying he's getting married or something. Like
pulls out gun, eats my own gun. I have some good news I'd love to share.
Chicken jerky.
Chicken jerky.
That's gonna age very poorly.
Yeah.
I mean, it already has by the time this came out. That's more of a personal joke between
this
group.
Can't we just have something to ourselves?
But so I reach for my jacket pocket to like signal that there's something of importance in there, and then the lights go out, and then I quickly, like, as the lights are out, I reach into like the other jacket pocket, I pull out the knife, stick it in my chest, I reach out, pull out the handkerchief with Keelan's like initials on them, crumple it in my hands, and then like throw myself to the floor as fast as possible for to be in position when the lights come back on. And so then the lights came back on, and I my eyes were closed the whole time. So again, I can't see anything. All I can do is hear it, even then when people are closer to me. And
were you giggling?
I think I held it pretty good.
You're pretty stoic.
Yeah. And so I did hear everybody sort of just like I could picture it in my mind, like the looking around at the table, like when the lights first came back on, like everybody at the table, like,
what the fuck just happened?
Yeah. And then I heard them sort of theorizing, like, well, I guess one of us is the murderer and we have to solve it. And so Key immediately starts like going through my pockets and stuff, and my brother questions it, and he's like, do you normally go through someone's pockets in a murder mystery? Like, is that normally, like, can you touch the actors?
I would say, well, I don't know, I'm just looking for evidence.
Yeah. And the answer to that is normally no, but I knew everybody here, so it wasn't like strangers rifling through my pockets and touching me inappropriately. It's like, I know everybody here, and I will say I expected a little bit more hesitation, but no, you, like, the second, like, everybody stood up, you were like,
I was getting that look. There was a murder in front of me. I'm the
And it was the
detective.
perfect
I got
opportunity.
I just had to solve the crime.
But so I was like, oh, he gets it immediately.
Yeah.
He knew immediately.
It was instinctual.
Yeah, because I was going for L.A. noir, like
Yeah.
when you like.
Yeah, that's what I said. I was literally doing that as I was like,
Yeah.
I was like turning your hand. He's got something here. Crack the knife, like open the lapels.
Yeah, and so the fact that you got it immediately, I was like, oh, okay, good. There's not like we're not like gonna just wander around for like 10 to 20 minutes before.
Yeah.
Because I did also tell the owner, like, hey, if they're like a little hesitant to do like to rifle through my pockets, maybe you could like throw them ahead, like, well, maybe you should check to see if he's got anything on him.
Yeah, because he planted evidence.
Yeah.
So like he wanted us to be implicated.
Yeah. But no, all of the pieces of evidence were found like in the first minute.
Yeah.
Like that. Like
I'm effective. I don't know.
Yeah, like my body was like stripped clean, and then it was.
I think I checked your actual pockets too.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, you just gotta keep
Yeah,
his wallet in there.
his wallet is in there, his debit card, his social security.
Yeah. It's not like he's gonna be needing it anymore.
I'm like, I'll put a thumbtack in that. I'll check back later, but I'll collect these for now.
And so you guys got all the evidence, and I remember like I remember something my brother said that I thought was really funny, because I was really harping, and again, not trying to be too obvious, but I was really harping on like who's gonna be here. You know what I mean? Because I like for evidence to be implicating other people. So I was like, who's gonna be here? Like, so like I was kind of being a little obnoxious, like, are you sure you come in? Are you sure you're gonna be there? You're gonna be here, right? You know, to everybody who's coming.
Well, yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
But I remember like when my brother was like looking through the evidence and he was seeing like your name and his name and stuff, he was like, okay, I see why he was being so anal about like who was showing up to this now. He was like, I understand now immediately.
Also, it's kind of funny that like there was a point where, because like I was looking over all the evidence and I had it like sprawled, and I was like going back and forth like questioning people and stuff like that, and I forget who, it might have been Ben, but it might have been his date. I think it was Ben though. They're just like, hey, you're aren't these your initials here on this napkin? Because it was a paper napkin with like a Sharpie, like my name written on it.
Yeah, I was poor. I was trying to spend as little money on this as possible.
But the thing is,
Tell
it
me
was
you
like,
couldn't get a custom fucking thing with his name embroidered on it?
Yeah.
should have. It would have been a cool keepsake.
Yeah.
That would have been.
But
Coated in blood.
yeah, they're like, hey, isn't this your initials here? And I'm like, that's not important.
I do remember that, yeah.
Yeah, because the thing is like I was locked in. I'm like, I know I'm not implicated. I'm like, I've already spotted out Ben's red herring. This clearly is mine because I didn't kill him. So I'm like, and that was like shown in, like off like on the back of the tag board. I'm like, I'm not worried about that right now.
Yeah.
So when they're like, isn't this your initials? Don't worry about that.
Is that a piece of evidence so essential that like if he just like pocketed it and never let anybody know, you could still solve the mystery?
Actually,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's a red herring. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. The main two pieces of evidence are the knife and the buyout.
Yeah.
Information.
That's what got me, because like I said, I like some stuff slightly implicated us. Like I said, like the handkerchief with the initials or the knife with the name on it did like implicate some stuff, but I'm like, it still seems a little too vague, and the way that there's a big chunk of this missing and that's alluding to the tavern, I have to search that angle. And like the more I kept digging, the more I kept finding, so that's why like when it came to those, I was just like, no, that's gonna be I'm like, that's gotta be a red herring for now. I'm not worried about that at the moment.
I'm just visualizing it as like, you know, like like they're like, aren't these your initials? Like, could you be the murderer?
Yeah,
You're
no,
like,
worry.
Yeah, you're like, no.
That's what I said. Yeah,
no.
it sounded like
Never
it
be me.
sounded funny because it was just like, isn't that you? No.
Yeah.
We're looking at the tavern right now. He was getting faxed this midnight. Did you know about that? And I would go, but I was like grilling the guy too. Like it was very much an LA noir style investigation I was pulling off on him.
Yeah, so I don't.
And the guy was, I think he was playing along too, because when he was doing like the, like I could tell he knew more kind of shit, he was doing like the shifty eye thing from like the game.
No, not me.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, so I was worried I had like kind of two simultaneous thoughts because again, I've never done anything like this before, and I couldn't be up to like sort of guide things along. Because another thing that happens in most murder mysteries is typically when the person who is murdered is like he plays like a different actor, like oh, he gets killed and he gets taken away, and then like he comes back with like a mustache or something, and he's like, I'm the brother of the guy who was just killed.
So that way he can be involved.
Yeah.
But I couldn't do that because I didn't have like
A mustache.
I didn't have a mustache. This is a real mustache.
It's the Hitler mustache.
Charlie Chaplin, okay? I'm not gonna disrespect our greatest comedians.
But yeah, so I didn't have like the means to be like taken away, and I couldn't be taken away anyway in case like we didn't have like a contingency plan of like, oh, take me away when they find all the pieces of evidence.
Throw your back out and take me to the back room.
Yeah, lift me up and just doing the whole.
Yeah, drag me, a 200-pound man, to the back.
So I can change and be in a different costume.
Yeah. So, but also again, all of the evidence is on my body, so it's like I can't be taken away in case they didn't grab everything yet. So I literally just laid on the floor.
We have a full Boromir send-off for you.
Really funny. My brother did do something funny when he got lost at one point. He was just like, I'm gonna go lament the death of my brother now. And he like just like laid down and gave me a hug on the ground. Like, a lot more fucking with my body than I thought from all parties.
I mean, all I really did was rifle through your pockets. So.
All I did was rob you.
Yeah.
And dude, as the
It
night
was to find out who did it, all right?
as the night was going on, it was getting cold. The ground was cold, and I was just like, oh god, I hope they
Freezing.
Yeah, I hope they solve this soon. And then,
Meanwhile, I'm like, did you do it?
yeah. But yeah, so that was I had two simultaneous like kind of worries. One is they blow through it. You know what I mean? Like this isn't clever at all, and it's just like, oh wow, this is super obvious. But then simultaneously on the other side, I was worried. But what if it's like too vague and it only makes sense to me because I wrote it and I know all angles, and actually it's like not a solvable mystery.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I was able to crack the case.
Yeah. No, and so that was why I did like so. I think 20 to 30 minutes go by after my initial like laying down on the ground, and they rifled through my pockets, and they kind of also my brother was being my brother because after he saw like you talking to the employees and he kind of figured that out they were in on it, he started like just harassing other patrons of the bar.
Oh, well, hold on, let me run that back because that was actually kind of funny. Because I had walked up, because like initially I think like somebody had asked like, well, are they implicated? And I was like, no, I don't think so. And then I walked up to the owner, and like as I started, you know, kind of like talking to the guy and starting to not grill him, but like try and weasel out some information. Your brother stops me and he goes, hey, I don't think we're supposed to be doing this, man. Like, I think you're just sticking with like our own personal table over there. You probably don't want to be bothering them. And I'm like, no, hold on, give me a second. And I was talking to the guy, and he was actually reciprocating back a bit. And that's when he goes, oh, okay. And he's like, oh, so is everybody in on it? And yeah, he starts going to like the patrons and stuff.
Yeah, he goes like, I heard him go to different tables, and he's like, are you in on this? And they're like,
are you in on it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't harass anybody because I figured I'm like nobody in these letters was implicated, and I don't think he planned it to have everybody in the place like an actor.
Could you imagine?
That would have been really impressive. Honestly.
If like just other people at the table like turned around and they were like, well, I think I saw something in the dark, but
like that would have been cool. I would have had a field day going around.
And it's like,
everybody.
because now I'm just picturing like your guys' shock of like, oh, these people here this whole time are all actors.
Yeah,
like that's crazy.
Again, completely unprompted too.
If you go that far, you might as well film everything too.
Yeah. Some people said I should have, but I was like, I didn't have like the means to, because I was like the only person in on it.
But now we're talking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so then so I heard like you guys talking and stuff like that, but like when you were all, because our table was more towards the back, So when you guys were like up at the counter, like talking to the employees, I couldn't hear a word of that. So I was like, I don't know how this is going. I don't know like how far along they are or whatever. And then finally, after like I said, like 20 to 30 minutes, finally the entire group with the owner walks over. And I think they just say like, hey, I think I solved this, but I need you to confirm it for me.
Yeah.
And I just like, and like sat up and...
Did you rise up like Undertaker?
I tried to, I think.
Yeah. But it was just
been sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was the thing, because like I was getting him, and I'm like, so did you do it? And he's like, I think so.
Yeah, no, because you ran through the whole story, and you basically parroted the story back to me, and so like I said, that was like a relief to me of like, oh, thank God, like again, like that was like confirmed or like got rid of that one worry of like, oh, does this only make sense to me? But like, no, you parroted like the whole story, like beat for beat, and I was like, oh, okay, so he's got it, and then he was like, so did the owner kill you for the deed to prevent you from getting the facts at midnight? And I looked at the owner, and I could see he was unsure.
Yeah.
And I don't blame him, because again, this was a lot and a bit convoluted to throw at him an hour before showtime.
Yeah.
Really testing your improv skills here, like.
Because it was leading me to the point where I'm like, well, I can't actually call the police or anything. I'm like, outside of the guy who's I think is the killer and isn't really giving me anything, like, who do I consult about this? Because like I have no higher authority other than my fake precinct that I work for at the moment. So.
Yeah. So you came and you gave me the whole story, and I said yes. And then and I was just like, you guys solved the mystery, and everybody had a good time. So admittedly, it was a little bit of an anticlimactic ending, because I literally had to get up off the ground and be like,
you did it!
Yeah.
Congratulations!
Yeah. Yeah. You win!
Shinji.
I mean, to be fair, it was just like, with how abrupt the game session switched to a murder mystery, and how well it was generally done with like everybody playing along to it and like improving, I had a really good time. Like I said, I really wish everybody else kind of pieced into it a little more or tried. Like I guess like they just weren't getting it, but I was just like Sherlock Holmes in there. I'm like, no, I need to figure this out.
From what I hear and remember, your girlfriend and my brother were both kind of confused. They couldn't really piece it together.
They were trying to.
And then my brother's date, from what he told me, she didn't even get up out of her fucking chair.
Yeah, no, she was sitting.
Whole time.
Yeah, she was sitting there in that corner, like the same chair she was pissed off in.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow. Yeah, she just sat. Like I was a little insulted. I was like, bitch, like. You literally got a surprise murder mystery dinner, and you think like you're above it, or like you don't give a fuck? Really? Like, holy shit, you suck.
Just leave and call an Uber.
Yeah, that would be a move at least.
But yeah, that was true. She did sit at the table the entire time. Like, I think she did get up for like a minute, but that was probably just to stretch her legs, because like the entire time she was just sitting there.
Yeah, she was like tuned out of this. I was like, you are not fun.
You had fun though.
Yeah, good. And then I'm trying to remember what else. I'm trying to remember like if there are any other pertinent details to that night. But I do remember like I just remember like again when I finally had to be like, yeah, you did it. I was like, man, I should have had like again like something a bit more finale to this, but
like a confrontation of some sort.
If some guy, yeah,
and then you hire some police officers to come in and just arrest the guy, drag him out screaming. He still doesn't know that this was part of the game.
That could have been. See, that could have been the other. That could have been the character I come back as when my corpse is dragged off. Is like I come back as like a Bobby, like an 1850s like police officer, and I'm like, what's going on here? And I'm like, I'm taking you away. Like when you solve the game.
You have a license for that tavern.
You have a license for that tavern. Yeah, like so. But yeah, so but yeah, and that was the game, and that was how it concluded, and then. We were like, well, do we want to finish this game of betrayal? And I think we did wind up finishing it, and it took like another 40 minutes.
Oh, Jesus.
But yeah, and then that was the murder
but
mystery.
Spirits were definitely more high finishing the game.
Yeah.
So
they had to leave and come back.
Yeah, they had to. Yeah, they're like, I'm through exploring this mansion.
They had to do like 2 sessions of betrayal.
Yeah. But yeah, so I guess my question to you, Mikey, is if you were there, do you think you could have solved the case? How do you think you would have reacted in that situation?
You could have been my Watson.
I could have been your Watson. I probably would have let you take the lead, but I would try and like while you were saying like confronting the suspects, I would be like looking around to see if there was any other moving parts.
So you would have been his assistant?
Yeah.
Gotcha. But yeah, so like I said, like I'm glad I did make the right choice in the end with Keelan, again, only because like you unfortunately couldn't make it, and that would have been bad. You know what I mean?
Isn't this
like,
your initials here? Don't worry about that.
You could have kicked your brother's girlfriend out. Said, yeah, I got enough people.
Yeah, I got enough people. Well, I just meant again, like with the initials on the napkin. It's like
Don't worry about
your
that.
initials on the napkin, and it's like Mikey's not here. Like
Pocket the napkin.
pocket it.
Well, I mean, you didn't embroider it. You could have just got another napkin and wrote it on.
That's also true. That is true. I could have done that. But so yeah, so that was what I did. That was what I did for our last Halloween party. Still thinking about what I'm gonna do for this one.
Do it again. Kill him again.
Yeah, but there's no shock. There's no murder mystery. There's no surprise to it.
We'll figure something out.
We'll figure something out.
Figure something out.
I was also like, I was consulting with like a different friend, and admittedly she was getting on my nerves because she was like saying shit like, "Oh, you should like get actors in and hire this in and like hire actors."
It's not making money.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, also this isn't like a week.
Yeah, like I was like, it's amazing that you got
Hey, you should have rented out the entire tavern.
a full working. You pitched this to an establishment owner, and they said yes, and they did this for free.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which
yeah.
I was surprised about. I tipped
it-
like very heavily to
Oh,
make
yeah.
up for that.
Okay, and then the staff members were cool with it too.
Yeah, and just decided to improv along the best they could.
Yeah.
To like what they knew about the murder.
Yeah.
Like it was really fun trying to like piece out what they did and didn't actually know.
And also, I was under like the first of all time constraints, second budget constraints, third like the whole point is that it's a surprise. Nobody knows it's a murder mystery. If like 10 character actors flood the bar, it's gonna like kind of cue people into what's gonna happen.
They'd also, yeah, like you'd have to get more of the establishment involved, saying like they're running something, and then the actors look like they're just party goers.
That would make sense though.
Yeah, yeah.
Speaking also real quick, just because oh shit, damn it, I had it and I lost it because I remember now. It was when you were saying that you thought I was gonna announce I was gonna get married.
Yeah.
My brother said he thought like, oh, we're all gonna get presents. Like he was like, yeah, I thought that announcement was a little weird, but he was like, I thought we were all gonna like, you were gonna be like, and
Santa Claus.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
you get a car, and you get a car.
Yeah, like oh, and here's something for you and something for you, and then it's like the murder happened, and he was like, oh, whoa. So, I again, that was kind of the most important part of it to me was the shock factor, the idea that like nobody knew what this was gonna be, and that's what we came to.
That's just it, yeah, because that didn't even hit me until the lights like came back on. Because again, like the way that it was like a big announcement, like you were doing, and then you like reached into your pocket, and then like the lights went out. I thought I was gonna see like a fucking birthday cake bust out or something like that, like some kind of like crazy.
He was a birthday
Yeah,
cake
like,
the whole time.
yeah.
I'm just saying like they're bringing out something or doing something like
Yeah.
big, and then like the lights just come back on real quick, and you're just on the floor dead with a knife in your chest, and like it hit me. I'm like, oh, so this is like that. Like first of all, crazy performance. Second of all, I'm like it hit me like, oh, okay, so I guess we're just doing this now, and
this is where the real party begins.
yeah, and I saw and we like looked around, and I think it might have been your brother Stade who asked like, are one of us the killer?
Mm-hmm.
And like none of us knew, so that's why I was like, you know what, no, I'm just gonna start like that. I'm like, you know what, LA Noire taught me well, and I just started picking through your pockets, and that's how I found all the shit. So it was.
And I remember running through like all of like the logistics because the Crooked T had like these big windows with no window covers, and I was like, because I talked with the owner, I said, man, because I told him, I said, I don't think that this is actually gonna work now because like
The
there
light
was,
coming in from outside.
yeah, like
Oh,
it's gonna
okay.
obscure me killing myself.
Yeah, because there's lampposts in that lot.
Yeah, and he was like, if I turn out because there's like lights around the windows. He's like, if I turn those off, it's like pitch black in here.
Which it was.
Okay.
Yeah. So if I turn off the inside and outside lights all at the same time, then it will be like blackout in here.
Which is also, it had to look crazy from outside too. Like, imagine you're just like walking, because walking from one of the other stores in like the complex, and all of a sudden like this whole thing just shuts off and then comes back on.
Also, were any other the guests in there, were they annoyed?
I was gonna say, imagine being one of the other players. Like, just you're in here and you're not even a part of this event.
You're just here for the normal services,
Yeah.
and drinks and food.
And then this happens.
Yeah.
No, nobody seemed annoyed. Everybody just kind of carried on with their thing.
Yeah, they're all just like everybody kind of like looked around like what the hell happened, and then they kind of just continued with the.
Yeah, it was kind of like they were like surprised, but then like we're like, oh, this isn't for us, and just
Okay.
went back to ignoring it. Which, like, I'm not gonna lie, if I was there, I kind of want to get in on it. I'd kind of be like, what's happening?
I'd
Yeah,
definitely
like,
be
check
curious and be like,
Is this something I
more
can
watching
join?
what's going on than
Did you check
probably,
his pockets?
probably enjoying the board game or whatever I was playing.
Yeah,
Take your shoes off.
take his shoes.
Take your shoes off.
And
What color's my underwear?
what color's his underwear? Let's find out. And then, but yeah, so we
Where is that from?
SpongeBob.
Is that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. What color's my underwear?
Yeah.
I was thinking like the Royal Fry Cook's underwear wears blue underwear. I mean red.
Oh, yeah. That,
He's
yeah.
wearing like two
Yeah.
pairs of underwear.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then I'm trying to think what else, because again, like I ran through like all of this stuff with the owner, and it was just fun. Everything like came together really well. I'm glad that, again, like we got that initial surprise, and again, my only sort of disappointment is sort of the fact that there was no like climax. There's no really
Confrontation.
yeah. There's no
Yeah,
bookend to
it
the
was more
story.
like I
It
just
was,
I
reach
had
the goal. You win.
Yeah, it was like I had all the evidence and came to what I had thought was the right conclusion, laid it out to the guy, and he didn't know if he was or not. Which with him not knowing if he was or not, like he was just going, well, it makes sense, I guess. Like
He knew he was the killer. He didn't know at what point to give up.
yeah, that was right. Cause, because
okay.
we kept pushing on. He kind of kept like dragging me. I'm like, dude, like what more do I got to do here? I think I told him, I'm like, let's be real here. Like, did I get you? Like, is this the thing? Do I get him? Like I don't know.
I think if I remember correctly, the misunderstanding is he thought that there was like one more piece of evidence that you needed to find,
gotcha.
and you hadn't found it yet, and so he was like,
Holding out.
yeah, he was like dragging it out till like, but like you found everything and you got everything right. So that's why he was like very cagey, like,
Yeah.
well, I don't know, I could be the murderer. If only you had one more decisive piece
I
of
found
evidence.
this ID in this wallet. This is your ID, right? And I found it in here, so that must mean that this is your wallet.
Makes sense to me.
So this must be your wallet.
It's not my wallet.
Yeah.
It's not my wallet.
Yeah, then take it. I can't. It's not my wallet. But yeah, so if I were to ever run like something like this in the future, I think I would. Well, I mean, I probably would have it more planned out ahead of time.
Would you write a script?
I definitely would want at least a couple more actors in on it, because again, it's like it was really cool of him to get in, like to get the employees on it, him in on it, and for him to be in on it. But again, it's just like I just threw. So maybe a script would be best, because yeah, I literally just threw the whole story at him at once. Like the only thing he knew before that was the date, and he was the killer, and to turn off the lights at one point. Like, so
I probably would have forgotten at least two of those things.
So he but no, he was phenomenal, and I really appreciate. Oh, I do remember also he was talking about he was like, also, if this like goes over really well, this is something I would like to like hold at the tavern, like a regular
Yeah,
thing
no,
to
you were
do.
saying that.
And I think he did wind up holding one more, because I saw like a listing when it was up. There was like a Facebook listing for a murder mystery event, and I couldn't go because I had to work. But But so yeah, so I don't know how popular
Did
that
you
was.
share that link? Because I don't remember that.
I don't think I did. I forget if I did or not, but I don't think I did.
Dang.
But so yeah, it was but yeah, so that was the time I threw a murder mystery dinner. A surprise.
And the time it was.
Yes, a surprise murder mystery dinner. An impromptu murder mystery dinner. But yeah, so looking back again, like obviously, if I were to do this again, I would not only give myself a week to write the story, get the props, and get the actors in on it, and find the location, and see if this was even something I could do.
Yeah. Still a great time though.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I'm glad you had fun. I wish you could have been there,
Yeah.
Mikey, but unfortunately,
Yeah.
stuff happens.
I needed my Watson.
Watson was injured from the last job.
Yeah.
I should have had your cane, man. You could have been there. It would have been it would have been in character.
No, you shouldn't have seen me.
Yeah, he couldn't.
I was
walk.
walking on 2.
Yeah.
Sorry, buddy.
But yeah, so that was the time I threw that dinner. And do you guys have any closing thoughts?
I wish I could have been there.
I wish I could do it again.
You just might. But until next week, we hope to see you here in the corner of the tavern.